With so many different churches existing in the world today with their conflicting doctrines, you may be wondering why it's important that Jesus should be the builder and the foundation of the church. In Matthew 16 and verse 18, Jesus said, "I will build my church." The church belongs to Christ, and if the church belongs to Christ, then why do we have so many different religious bodies in the world? Well, the answer is simple. Somebody has been building churches when they have no right to do so. Many religious organizations owe their existence to common men and women, not to the Son of God. Many religious organizations teach doctrines that are often foreign and contradictory to the gospel of Christ. If Christ is not the builder of the church, then the church is not the one that you find in the Bible. Some people have mistakenly taught that John the Baptist built the church, but this cannot be true for several reasons. First of all, John the Baptist referred to Jesus Christ as the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world, John 1:29. In Matthew 14:10, John the Baptist was beheaded, and later in Matthew 16:18, Jesus declared that he would build his church. If John the Baptist was dead when Jesus made this statement, then John the Baptist could not have built the church. Also, John the Baptist said this of Jesus in John 3, verses 29 and 30. "He that hath the bride is the bridegroom. But the friend of the bridegroom which standeth and heareth him rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease." Friends, we see that Jesus is the bridegroom. He is the one that is married to the church, and he must increase. Now John, the friend of the bridegroom, understood that his role was to decrease. Friends, John the Baptist did not build the church, and so we see that it should not wear his name. But please note that the name the Baptist given to John is simply a surname, and it was given to him because he baptized or immersed people in water. You may remember that the angel said to Zacharias, his father, "Thou shalt call his name John," Luke 1 and verse 13. Well, no less important than the building is the foundation of the church. No building is stronger than the foundation that it is built upon. What then is the foundation of the church? In 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 11, we find the answer. "For other foundation can no man lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ." However, as we see in Matthew 16 and verse 18, where Jesus said, "Upon this rock I will build my church." Well, what is this rock to which Jesus refers? Well, whatever it is, upon it the church was built by Christ. In order to get the complete picture of the text, notice verse 16. "And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Then in verse 17, the Lord blesses Peter for the confession which he had made. In verse 18, the Lord promises to build his church. Friends, it's clear from the text that Christ planned to build his church upon the truth of Peter's confession, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Now, some have misinterpreted this passage to mean that Christ built his church upon Peter, but we see that this is not the case. Whenever we look at the context, we see that what he is referring to is the statement, the fact that he said that Jesus is the Christ, God's infallible Son. It's not founded upon Peter, a man who is fallible, a man who is erring. We see examples of this for us in the New Testament. But it's important for us to note that the church is built upon a divine rather than human foundation. Christ is deity. He is eternal and immortal. And in John chapter 1, the first verse, the apostle tells us of Christ that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. Then the apostle Paul says this of Christ in Philippians 2 and verse 6, "Who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God." Therefore, friends, as the foundation of the church, Christ will endure forever. Death, decay, depreciation, these things cannot harm the church, for Christ, who is its builder, is its head and its foundation. and he shall live forever. Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today. Please consider these things that we have discussed, and have a blessed day.